Oh, good morning, everybody. I'm sorry, just turned my camera on. My eyes started getting itchy, like allergies. It is that time of year. Anywho, as a lot of you may have seen last night's video, which was just a quick book haul, I have not gotten a chance to read one of them or start reading them. Um, Yesterday was kind of like a full day. We we woke up and we made tentative plans. Now, the reason why I'm now saying tentative plans is because depending on one factor or another, whether it's my back, my body, whatever, or Ann having her own issues, decide that we're not going to complete the wanted to be done project. That's basically what's going to happen today. Is we're going to finish that project, which the only thing I know that needs to be done with that project is to hang two shelves, put everything on the hooks and shelves for the coffee, move the coffee bar or coffee station over on top of the coffee bar, and then rearrange the contents in the actual cabinet. Um, so far, that project is going well. Slow but well. But yesterday we ended up we ran out to pick up groceries from the Walmart pickup, which we did a haul. Then she ran out to get, I shouldn't say she, I'll take that back. We, because I did end up going with her. We ran to the Dollar Tree for some crafting supplies. We haven't gone to purchase crafting supplies in 2 weeks, so we got a fair amount. Which when we went to haul that in the van before bringing it inside, I sat in the back seat to hand her the bags. And during a long period of time where she was chatting, I started to do some research or do some. I was looking for information on my phone. So when I wasn't paying attention, she wasn't irate. She wasn't mad. She wasn't hostile. She wasn't rude. She was surprised by the fact that I wasn't paying attention to her. I could have easily handed her all the stuff, put it up in the front seat, and just went back inside to do whatever. But the plan was as soon as we got done with the haul, we would run out and get some dinner. We went to, well, Mom wanted chicken from a local little place called Lee's Chicken. Not Lee's Chicken. It's not Lee's Chicken. It's not anything famous. It's basically a mom and pop store. I can't remember the name of it, but they do fried chicken the way Mom likes it. No spices, basically no pepper or anything in the batter. Plain good old fashioned buttermilk batter, buttermilk and flour. But she went and Mom went to go pick up her food while we were finishing up our in van haul, and then Jerry and I went to Subway, basically to get food for ourselves. So the day kind of got caught up in between the shopping, the hauls, the pickups, going out to grab food, things like that. We didn't really get on to the finishing aspect. Dang it. My allergies are really trying to disrupt everything today. So, things last night were just kind of like not really I was in a funk and didn't want to do anything. It was more like we've got so much on our plate. Can we get everything done without being without overdoing it, exerting ourselves? So that was yesterday. Of course, I got my 3 books. At first, because the way the mail came, it was like I went to check for mail, and then I had a package, and it was one of my books. And then I went to go check for mail, and there was only one piece of mail, and it was junk mail. Out of all the things that stopped during this pandemic, junk mail is one thing that still comes. Why? Anyhow, and then at one point in time when we were getting ready to run out to do something, uh, UPS came up to drop off some more. Well, drop off 2 more packages. One was for mom. Mom got herself a Upwalker. It was a really fancy piece of equipment. Now, mom is having problems with walking and standing for long periods of time, and she wanted to get the Upwalker because a lot of times the stores that do provide the electric carts, like Walmart, they only have a limited number, and more people are using them for some of them. Like there was one time we went to go to shopping, and I noticed in the store one of the people who were using the electric carts was a. Now I'm not saying he didn't have the right to use it. It's each individual person. Um, we all have the right to use them. It's just, are you using it for legitimate reasons, or are you just using it out of sheer laziness? But this one kid that I saw was using it. He had a cast on. It wasn't a full leg cast. It was only like an ankle cast, and I'm like, boy, you're 20 some odd years old. If that, maybe in his mid 20s, early to mid 20s, you've got a cast on your ankle and you're using an electric cart. Um, when I was back in the 20s, if I had ever had a cast on, actually I did have a cast on for a short period of time. I'll tell you that story here in a second. But anyhow, this kid had an ankle cast. Basically, it wasn't even all the way up to his knee. It was like mid calf, and he was using one of those electric carts. And I'm like, I remember when I had a cast. I had a cast because I had basically pulled bone off the top of my foot from being stupid, and I was in my 30s, and I still went to work. You know, each to his own is all I can say. Um, Now the story about my foot and why I had what they called an air cast. It was one of those casts that you have to basically cut off, but it wasn't like the old fashioned cast where it became like this solid. You needed a little buzz saw to get it off type thing. Um, what I had done is maybe I did tell you this story at one point in time. I don't remember, but what I did to injure myself that I had to have a cast. Um, we were helping our friend Lisa, who now lives in Texas, but we were helping her move from Queens, New York to Moultrie, I think the name of the town, Moultrie, somewhere in Georgia. And I had gotten up on top of the van that we had at the time. Um, our minivan was packed with her stuff, Lisa's stuff, and we had a cargo bag that we strapped to the roof of our minivan. And I was the one who was up there strapping it on there, packing it, securing it, the whole 9 yards. And I went to come off the side of the van, and we couldn't open the door. We couldn't open the minivan doors for me to use the doors as a was it yeah as an access point through the side. and Jerry Ann was waiting for me on the down on the ground. Now, most average minivans aren't that big. They're not that high. So they're not hard to get up and down from. But Jenny Ann was trying to basically make sure that I didn't fall flat on my face. Well, what happened was I came down off the side of the van and my ankle hit the curb and twisted and slipped off. Now, I knew I had injured myself, but I didn't think I injured myself to the point where I pulled bone off the top of my foot. According to the doctor, it was just a small sliver, but still, I pulled a chunk of bone off the top of my foot, so I had to have that cast on. Well, I had walked around, being the stubborn person I am, walked around Georgia, helped them out of Georgia, walked around a flea market in Georgia, and basically was using a cane as support. I bought a cane down in Georgia, and did that for a full week before coming back to New York. The day after, or the second day after coming back from New York, I went and got x-rayed and found out what happened. And they went, you're going to have a cast on for at least 6 weeks. And I went, okay. What does that mean for my work life and this and that? And they're like, oh, you can still go to work. We're going to give you a pair of crutches and yada, yada, yada. And I just kind of went, can I still drive? Because it was my right foot. Now, if it was my left foot, I wouldn't have cared because, I don't need my left foot for driving. And the doctor was like, yeah, you can fully function once the cast gets on. It's one of these airsoft casts. And I was like, Mom, I wouldn't know a cast from a piece of granite to a piece of air, to a aired up bag. It wasn't an aired up bag. It wasn't an aired up bag. It was just a cast that wasn't like the hard, not ceramic. I don't even know what to call it. But anyhow, those of you who are in the medical profession probably know what I'm talking about. But it was just one of those. They wrapped they wrapped the area that they wanted to basically be immobilized, with like a bandage, and then they put like this wet. All I can describe it as wet rag with some sort of like paste in it around the around the ace bandage or the first layer. And once that hardened, it wasn't like the thick hard material like the cast from the 1970s, I guess you'd say, but it was hard enough to keep my ankle from flexing. I mean, I can still use my foot just right to push on the gas pedal enough to go. So I did that for 4 to 6 weeks. It wasn't a big deal to me. I was just kind of like, oh, look, I broke my foot. I finally broke a bone. 30-some odd years old, and I've done all kinds of things, and I'm finally breaking a bone. Because all the things that I did as a child, I'm surprised I haven't had broken wrist, broken arm, broken leg, broken whatever. As I like to say, I was a wild child. I like to climb things. I fell out of things. I was rambunctious. I mean, there's a time, I'm going to give you a quick childhood memory. There was a time in Germany when my dad was stationed at Hahn Air Force Base, West Germany, which is now been given back to the German people, and they turned it into a municipal airport. But anyhow, we were moving from our on-base housing to an off-base housing to live amongst the people, the German people. Anyhow, we had I don't know what year Dad bought it, but it was a 70-something Hornet. Nice big black station wagon. And that station wagon was so full of our stuff that I could not sit in the back seat like I should have been. So I was sitting on Mom's lap. And mom said, let me know when it's okay to close the door. My hand was in the door jamb, and I was trying to reposition myself so I was comfortable on mom's lap without hurting her. Granted, I was 81, so I was like, I was about 10 years old. But anyhow, my hand was in the door jamb, and I said, okay, like to acknowledge what mom said, not to say, okay, close the door. Well, she mistook my okay for I'm good, close the door. Hand still in the door jamb. Boom. She closes the door over my hand. And I didn't scream out in pain because it did hurt, but it wasn't like she crushed my bone or my bones in my hand. So I'm sitting there going, Mom, the door, Mom! And she was like, oh my God, and of course, rushed me to the hospital, blah, blah, blah. No broken bones, just minor bruising. And, well, while in Germany, I've fallen out of 2 different trees and, fell in a hole thinking I broke my ankle or broke my leg. Worst thing that ever happened to me throughout my whole childhood is while in we had such great fun and whatnot, great fond memories of Germany. But while in Germany, they had a mini carnival on base. And what I mean by mini carnival is they had bumper cars and they had the different games and some rides. And, if you've ever gone to like a small town county, or not even county fair, just a small town fair, you kind of know what I'm talking about. But anyhow, my dad and I went on the bumper cars, and I enjoyed it so much that I asked, can I do this by myself? Didn't know how to drive a vehicle. For the most part, I watched Dad do it. Well, I got in the bumper car by myself, sat down, and realized my shoe was untied. Okay, that's one thing. Shoes untied. You as a kid who's always been told by your parents, tie your shoe, tie your shoe before you fall over. So what's my first response? Bend down to tie my shoe. Unknown to me was the buzzing noise that I heard was to basically say the bumper cars are not active. You can now basically move about. Yeah. Somebody came up, hit me from behind, bridge of my nose, smacked right into the steering wheel. I jumped out of the car, ran across the bumper car floor towards my parents, crying because it hurt. The gentleman who hit us followed me, was very apologetic and whatnot, and my dad was like, that's all right. He's a tough kid, which I was. That's how my parents nicknamed me the Timex kid because Timexes take a licking, keep on ticking. That was me. So we went to, parents rushed me, of course, to the base hospital. And by the time we got to the base hospital, I had what looked like a second nose because I had a welt literally out, pretty much out to where my nose would be. Well, at the time, the main concern was damage to the bone, to the bridge of my nose, things like that. No notable damage. The side effect from that is now what I have to deal with every allergy season. Because, what do they call it? Deviated septum, I think was the terminology my doctors used. But anyhow, because of the damage to my nose, I now have sinus problems. Which we wouldn't know about until after Dad retired and we moved to Phoenix, Arizona. But anyhow, Mom's up, Walker. Sorry, I did go off in a weird direction, so I'm sorry for those of you who don't like it when I do that. But anyhow, Mom got the Upwalker, and it's a fancy one. It's one where I don't know if you've ever seen what an Upwalker looks like. I'm pretty sure some of you might have. But it's one of these fancy ones where you can stand up, place your arms on these rests, I guess you call them, and you've got like handbrakes. So you can, if you've got good hand strength, you can keep yourself from rolling forward too fast. And of course, because it's an Upwalker, when she gets tired of walking, she can sit down and relax, rest, whatever. It's got a. I saw it and I went, "What the world is this?" It's got a cup holder near the handbrakes. And I just kind of went, "Okay." And then, of course, it's got a pouch to basically put stuff in, your purse, your whatever. And I can't remember if it's got a little basket underneath the seat or not. But it's collapsible, so it can, fold down to be stored in your vehicle. And I was like, oh, great, because in June 6th, we're going to Ohio for one of my second cousins. Philip would be, okay, second cousin is graduating from high school this year. And they're all bummed out because of the fact that they had these big, extravagant parties planned out for after graduation and whatnot. But Ohio State basically has allowed the student to graduate finish school via computer, via the internet. And the graduation ceremony is basically the dean presenting the diploma to the student, and the only people allowed is the immediate family, which is basically her parents, her two siblings, and maybe her grandparents, my aunt and uncle. So, and then afterwards, we're going out to have a little. Yeah, it's a little party. It's like family, basically immediate family. Maybe one or two friends. Maybe her boyfriend if they're still dating. How would you date during this situation? A whole lot of FaceTime conversations, no physical contact, whatever. So I'm happy that she's able to get her diploma and finish her school instead of having to wait until next year, because I don't know how things are around here. But yeah, I gotta finish this because we got stuff to do. So Mom's Upwalker will be good for when we go to Ohio and hopefully be able to go to Amish country. I don't know if we're going to be able to, because I know here in Missouri we have until June 14th before they lift the state of emergency, and I guess by then decide how to proceed from there. So, and I don't know how well this is. I don't know how this is affecting Amish country, let alone business for the tourism factor of the Amish country, because we go to the Ashery, which has like all kinds of stuff, including spices and whatnot. Oh no, the Ashery is a place where we go for our spices and cheese and sausage. Then there's, for dinner, we go to Mrs. Yoder's, which is a nice little Amish cafe type. Well, it's an eatery. I can't really describe it that well. It's an old-fashioned style, maybe an old-fashioned style diner. I'm not sure how to describe it. But I will try to take snapshots when we go. But anyhow, oh bugger. Yeah, I'll wait until tomorrow to do a nice Bible session. Anyhow, if you enjoyed these ramblings, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and put them in the comment box. If you're new, or you have people, if you're new, go ahead and tap that bell. If you're already a subscriber, and you have people who might be interested in some of my video content and whatnot, go ahead and try to get them to join up. I am now, thanks to you all, I am now at 8. What was the last number I got? 828. So, or higher. But I'm in the 820s, almost 830s. So thank you very much. I'm very happy that you guys are joining. Hopefully you're enjoying. So until next time, have a good day. God bless. Enjoy. Bye.